This evening, very simple, alive as I am to the fact that Sister Odilia has also given some practical meaning.
You and me belong to each other. You
The animal was frightened and desperate.
belong to each other.
The bark wavered
Yes, we
between confusion and
belong to
helplessness
each
in the
other
darkness of the
now.
woods. The dog stood very still, sensing a kinsman in danger. She relied on an intuitive bond and connection to help her locate the wounded buck. That bond led the door over the horizon through vastly unfamiliar territory to within 10 feet of the wounded buck.
Africa, tell me, Africa, is it you, this back that is bent, this back that breaks under the weight of humiliation, and yes, saying yes to the whips under the midday sun?
As Ngugi wa Thiong'o has lamented, there is a mismatch between the language of our education and the language of our culture. And this leads, the consequence is the loss of African consciousness. That there is no book in sociology, politics, law, or economics that is written in African languages has become so normal to the extent that African scholars and educators scramble to want to write in foreign languages.
And that means that we are here to make the bridge from the Caribbean to Europe. We find each other here. And then to Africa. You African brothers, I'm very happy with you, but I'm not alone. I see so many of us, a few, but I want to call two special persons because we are here and our ancestors are here also in spirituality.
Thank you. You're
Good evening. Let me start by saying how happy I am to be invited this evening here at The Hague. You know, in Africa, when you talk about The Hague, you think about the International Criminal Court. So when you tell somebody you are going to The Hague, they think you have committed some crimes of an international character. To contemporize our problems against the background of history, which then makes my effort this evening very simple, alive as I am to the fact that Sister Odilia has also given some practical meaning to this evening's engagement within my own country, Kenya. And there is something that surprises me, is that when you are in Nairobi, you have a Dutch school, that the few citizens of the Netherlands who are working in Nairobi take the view that you need to have a school for the Dutch children in Nairobi. Perhaps they don't even number 1,000, but for some reason, they hold the view that the umbilical cord must never be cut between them and their cultural foundation. Delivered a speech titled The Regeneration of Africa. It is instructive that that was in 1906. He was already talking about the regeneration of Africa, which meant that something had happened to Africa which required that it regenerates herself. Both the speakers before me, Joram and Dr. Sondu, apologized, and we are always in the business of making this apology. Even I do this quite often, that we must not romanticize the history of Africa. But I think today I want to romanticize it a little. You know, I often ask myself, even these dominant Abrahamic religions, whether it's Judaism or Christianity or Islam, the founders or those who articulated the finer thoughts of these religions as received from God always had a stint in Africa. What did they come to do in Africa? What was Moses doing in Africa, if not to borrow certain ideas? What was Muhammad doing in Africa, if not to borrow certain ideas? What was Christ doing in Africa, if not to be prepared for his mission? There is a sense in which Africa has certain unique things about her, and that is the extent to which I want to romanticize her. But let us look at the mega projects. Once again at that function in Uganda, I talked about and against corruption, and somebody in the audience stood and said that he disagrees with me. He said there is no corruption in Africa and that I was misleading my audience. And I said, but I thought I'd said, he said, in Africa what we see is looting, not corruption. And he said corruption presupposes that there is some intelligence in the theft. But these are just looters, thieves on an industrial scale. And I agree. And I agree is that we who are Africans are also part of that problem. The African population is part of the problem. So that today, when you visit a number of European countries, you are able to see how rich Africa is. When you want to know how rich Africa is, don't go to Africa, no. Visit European countries. Go to England. Then you know Africa is rich. Come to the Netherlands. They were not very present in Africa, so I can excuse them a little. But to a certain extent, they also partook. But if you want to know, go to Belgium. If you want to know why Congo is poor, supposedly, see how Belgium is rich. The colonial project was a successful project, but not in the manner that we think about commodities. It was successful in invading and conquering our minds. That is the success of it. For African country, they would say, we leave it to God. We are leaving too many things to God. That is part of our problem. There are too many things that we ought to be doing that we say, there are two levels, and I think we are burdening both the devil and God. Either we are saying it is the devil that is responsible, or we leave it to even the things that God has enabled us to do. So I think that time has come that we must do certain things, and then God will help us in this regard. And I think this is part of the contribution that some of us make, that we speak about these things with the firmness that opens people's eyes, not with the arrogance that inflames their anger. And if we do that consistently, and I know many people in Africa that are doing the same thing that I'm doing better than I in different parts. I know, for example, right now, if you look at what has been happening between Nigeria and Cameroon, a good friend of mine in Nigeria called Falana, Advocate Falana, and others have been going to court. They are using that medium to address the problem of Cameroon. And you can see what has been happening, the decisions that are being made by the courts in Ghana, in Nigeria. Those are the kind of activities that one wants to see. And if we do that consistently, then it will be a good thing. Will it happen in your lifetime? Maybe not. But who says it must? It's a sad thing that the sister has gone, has walked away. But I wanted to give this example. I'm a practicing Christian, so it's not blasphemy. The point I'm trying to make, if in that which God is involved, the results are not instantaneous, how much more what we are doing as human beings? So play your part. And when you play your part, right now I see us wearing the t-shirts of Marcus Garvey. 1900. He's inspiring us how many years? A century later. So if you look at it in that way, then you'll not be dejected. This is intergenerational. Thank you.